How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another feature match from locals. Here we are in round one. I've got quite a few feature matches ahead for you guys. I think I might have like 11 in total currently. I haven't had a chance to look through all of them yet, but nonetheless, still very excited to show you. This is from actually round one of a mega tournament, like a $20 entry, bigger prize pool, etc., where there was actually a top cut. And then I also have the feature matches from the regular locals that took place afterwards. I actually ended up getting first in both of those locals with Block Dragon VA, and I might make like a tournament report video separately for that. So let me know if you guys want to see something like that. But nonetheless, getting started here in game one, I win the die roll and open up Rhino Warrior with a Gilasaurus, which came in very, very clutch there, obviously, just to get a free level 3 on the board. At no cost to me, my opponent not having anything engrave to be able to summon out. So, of course, it's just literally free. So, going to summon out Dante now, detaching the Farfa that I had to hard summon from hand. But mill a Dot Scaper there, so that's pretty nice. And I believe I also have an Edgem Sabers engrave. If I wanted to be able to try to go for Saryuja. But I believe I also have a Block Dragon in hand as well. So I'm just going to summon out the Block Dragon right now and go into the first Saryuja. So we'll build our chain links here. Saryuja 1, Block Dragon 2, Seer 3, Dante 4. So of course, Dante adds Seer. Seer summons Dante. Block is adding 2 Gigantes, which tells you where exactly that Fossil Dyna might be currently. Picking up 4 new cards. Unfortunately, milled the Pot of Avarice off that Dante. But it is what it is. At least we saw our way into a Dotscaper. Gallus going through now. Milling a Libic, so we'll burn for 600 there. Gallus is a great card to find midway through the combos. This mills a card, gets an Earth on the field. In this case, a level 3 for Psychic Tracker. Trophy will get a rarity bump someday soon. Then using Saryuja to special summon out Mathematician. Going Curious with a Spellcaster, a Psychic, and a Beast. Sending the Bulbous Growth. Or the grow up bulb. Now we're gonna mill a 3. Milling Destrudo, Jackalope, and Mathematician. It's always nice to see the Destrudo there, especially with the Saber still engraved. Sometimes, if not already done so, could help set up Curious, but we already got Curious on lock. Summoning out Gigantes, milling for the glow up, and summoning out the Naturia Beast. Which here against Orcust, yes, Orcust still playable surprisingly. Here in the new format. Also, first feature match of the new format, so pretty excited for that. I got a wide array of things. I'm actually in a lot more of these feature matches for this particular tournament because I believe we only had 14 people for this particular one. There was like 29 for the other. So no surprise that there was a little less variation in this one because the amount of people only made so many possible feature matches from that many players. And after, what was it, I think like 7 rounds, 4 rounds of Swiss, then top 8, top 4, and then the finals. Gonna have a few repeats here and there. Gallus milling now Giant Rex and then summoning out Psychic Wielder. Already looking like a fantastic turn. Now I'm just trying to figure out how to set up Avermax. So I need to get 2 Link 2s. And of course, Cerberus and Phoenix come to mind when trying to make those Link 2s. So just using Giant Rex and Block Dragon to make the Phoenix. And then linking off the Phoenix and the Cerberus into Avermax. Summoning out Block Dragon here is the second last step in the combo. Opponent taking a gander at the Avermax here. Making sure, his eyes are not deceiving him. Yes, he will only be able to attack Avermax. And if he tries to battle with a special summon monster, Avermax will gain the attack of whatever it is attacking. And that is going to make it so, of course, the Fossil Dyna cannot be attacked. And it also cannot be destroyed by card effects because of the Block Dragon. So, not even going to reveal to me what his opening hand was. And we're just going to quickly head into game 2. And as we do, a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. If you're interested in that playmat that I'm using, on the left, it is from Imperium Duelist. Same thing with the sleeves that I'm currently using on the main and extra deck. Funny story, I actually forgot my playmat to bring to locals, but my friend had the same mat to let me borrow, so that was pretty clutch. He ended up using his sneak peek mat for the day, so shout outs to you for hooking me up. because I'm very, very forgetful sometimes. But here in game 2, obviously some side deck cards are in. He is going to use the Orchestrated Return, discarding the Nightmare. I have the Lancey, of course, in the standby phase. And that definitely will slow him down quite a bit. Most builds of Orcust, I believe, now playing Dangers and things like that, just to be able to help get extra link fodder on the field. Kind of save the normal summon now for your Orcust monsters. The combo before was to sort of like dump Harp to summon Nightmare, but now you're like getting Nightmare to the grave, and Nightmare is sending Wand, and Wand is summoning out Nightmare. So like it's just kind of the same thing, but a little less efficient, because now there's really one avenue of play. If you can stop the Nightmare from activating its effect, like if you can stop it from sending the Wand with a card like Ash, it's a huge impact on their turn. So he's going to set multiple back row, end up sniping the Crescendo out of his hand, and he's going to knock the, or not knock, but summon the Jackalope. And Jackalope, of course, will net a draw, accidentally flipping it up there. It happens sometimes. I don't believe I actually saw that it was the impermanence, so not like it made too big of a difference there. Flips up a Foolish Burial, obviously setting quite a few before trying to resolve the Jackalope, getting the Gizmek to the graveyard as kind of a fail-safe for the following turn, making sure it'll be a little bit more difficult for me to OTK if I can at least get there. But the interesting thing, and the luck that I have sometimes as he goes ahead and passes over to me, is like I had the side deck card for Lancia, but the rest of my hand was just like not the greatest. And I remember saying like, but Winter, you opened Mathematician. How could you say your hand was not that great? Well, I guess maybe it wasn't, you know, the worst, but it definitely wasn't the best. Because have to worry about a few cards in particular that could be in his back row. Of course, one is Impermanence, but of course there could be cards like Called by the Grave that could slow the turn down greatly. And I think I do open the O-Lion, unfortunately, so I have to send Rhino Warrior here to send the Sabers. And I believe I also hard opened Graph too, and Glow Up Bulb and Doddscaper is in my hand too. I think I top deck Mathematician for turn, so that was literally my saving grace. If he had have, you know, called by the Rhino, my turn pretty much would have ended with just the Mathematician. So with 3 set back row remaining, I'm really not too keen on trying to go for the full combo. So I just go into Dante here, and knowing that I have the Graph stacked, I can try to make some sort of shenanigans with the Graph. You know, summon out Seer, then link off the Dante and Seer for something, and, you know, maybe a Phoenix, pop a back row, and then bring back the Dante, and, you know, maybe make a Cerberus. But Call by the Grave says otherwise, so luckily I didn't commit too hard to that field, because the Graph, I would just be left with a Cherry Beanie at this point. So I was trying to sort of play around a Call by the Grave, because I kind of felt that it might be on its way. Or at least be one of the cards that he had set with that many back row. I kind of had to, you know, maybe guess one of them could be Called by the Grave alongside other things. So end phase resolving the Crescendo in the graveyard to search Symbol Skeleton, and then also summoning out Gizmek here in the end phase as well. No Babble out though, so he cannot use the Nightmare Engrave, starting with Allure of Darkness now. No Lancia for me here. Again, and funny story, I'll if I end up making that tournament report video, actually, I'll talk about it then. But I actually played my friend here on the right in the later tournament, and I Lancia'd him 3 turns in a row. It was pretty funny. It'd be interesting to talk about. But I have an idea to film this tournament report like in a way that I've never filmed one before. So it should be pretty interesting. But let me know if you guys want to see that. I believe at the end of the day, I went 10-2 out of all the rounds that I played. Only losing to an Orcust and a Salamangreat, I believe. But nonetheless, normaling the Brass Bombard here to be able to link into Galatea, and we know he has Symbol in hand. And then using Galatea's effect now, I believe, to return one, to set one. I think he still has that Nightmare in hand, and like I said, he still has that Symbol Skeleton in hand as well. To be able to have as a target for the Bombard. And you can see the 1-for-1 in my graveyard, but that card would have been pretty nice to see had I not opened both of my level 1 targets. I don't think I actually drew it, but I milled it off Dante. which is fine actually because, yeah, I mean, I opened both my level 1 targets, so it's actually fine that that card is out of the deck at this point. And I'm really just kind of hoping that I can survive the turn here, be able to have Dante be able to absorb most of the damage. But what I'm seeing at this point is now that Bombard has been used, he still has a Nightmare. You know, still has access to Wand potentially. I could still see a Boral Sword coming out, as well as Ding. Basically, all it was to, yeah, you can use the Gizmek here as well. Really just no hold bars at this point. And I believe momentarily here I end up scooping because there's just like, I know Boral Sword is coming. He also has Instant Fusion as well, which could just go for the Thousand Eyes Restrict and just make it things even worse for me. So we're going to head into game 3. Also a reminder, if you're buying anything off a TCG Player, don't forget to use my affiliate link down in the description below. Help support me in the channel and doing what I do, and that's making videos for you guys. So will be greatly appreciated if you guys used that link if you find yourself on TCG Player in the future. But here in game 3, getting started with the tour guide into the Fiendish Rhino Warrior, going right into Cherubini, getting the sabers all set up. So already looking like a much better turn here. And I start with the Rhino, or not the Rhino, but I start with the sabers here rather. Because I'm kind of fearing, like, I always, in most cases, if I can afford it, based on what my hand looks like, sometimes I'll try to get a monster into the zone that Cherubini points to, or just get something else on board alongside the Cherubini, so that if it does get, like, Ghost Ogred or whatever, I can protect it with a card already on the field just by sending it off. And I believe I end up milling Giant Rex, Glow Up Bulb, and perhaps one other BA at this point. Yeah, looks like I milled Libic there. So 3 BA is already out of the deck. The 1 Farfa. All that remains. And I go ahead and reveal the Danger Snack here. So trying to secure, again, just get the 4 monsters on board. He sees me discard the Block Dragon after I, draw off the Snack. And he's going to activate Lancia. Summon the Crusadia Leonis out of my hand. That's a 1-of that I was playing for this event. And not event, but tournament. And was very clutch every time I saw it. I think there was one time where I opened the Leonis, where it was like a kind of like in a bad situation, where if my normal summon got hit, I would be dead in my tracks. But I am able to at least end an Appaloosa with 4 negates and a Beatrice with the Farfa still in the deck. Although I do have Lancia, so I won't be able to Farfa. I'll still be able to dump any card in my deck to the grave, which is a very, very nice trade-off. So he Lancias me, and then I turn around and Lancia him right back. And later on in the following tournament, I'd Lancia him 3 more times. It's just funny. It's just Lancia wars. I know Lancia might be falling out of people's side decks, but I still feel like Orcust is a really underrated deck currently and is still like pretty decent and can still do what it does. Not as good as it used to. It has less plays now with Harpoor being gone. Of course, is a bit more fragile to hand traps. But Lancia is still nonetheless very good. Not the best side deck card really at all against Spiral. Pretty bad against Spiral, to be honest, but that's why you'd rather have a card like Drone Lockbird, which I'm going to quickly move into my side deck for following tournaments, because there was a lot of Spiral at my locals this weekend. I did not get to play against any of them, unfortunately, but I played against a lot of Orcust, a lot of Salamangreat. I played against a Psyframe deck. Very, very interesting matchups, to say the least. So he's going to start with Scrap Recycler. And I'm going to allow that to go through because whatever he sends is not a threat to me currently. I mean, he can dump the Gizmek if he wants. If he tries to summon it, can't even try to summon it. He can't even really try to use whatever it is. He's dumping to the graveyard, so it's fine with me. So now going to use Instant Fusion. Goes for Thousand Eyes Restrict. Of course, that is a must negate. I cannot let him just take my Thousand, or not my Thousand Eyes Restrict, but my Apollosa. I cannot let him grab that. Because if I do, the turn is pretty much over. I mean, yeah, just obviously instant negate there. So, perhaps going for a Link 2 here. But I believe ends up actually just linking off the Thousand Eyes Restrict here for a Link Karibo. Trying to play a bit more defensive. He has Gizmek Engrave. He has Link Karibo. So he certainly can try to fend off for 1 turn, despite Lancia. So that's really what he's trying to do here at this point, is just kind of hold on and maybe survive this next turn, survive the battle phase. But I'm going to use Beatrice here in the end phase to dump the Gizmek of my own. Be able to, of course, detach Dante, add back the Seer. Going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck, and I'm going to draw for turn here. Got to worry about Link Creep. I've got to worry about a Gizmek Engrave since it is now live because he's no longer under Lancia. Jackalope tries to go through to knock the Seer out of my hand, but Jackalope gets hit, and I think I end up summoning a Danger Sneck here. So one thing I'm trying to do here is set up a Nightmare play with a draw because I'm very unsure about what this back row is. I don't want to run into an Impermanence in like a weird time, so I'm just trying to go for that back row right away. And, you know, just kind of go from there. Because I know I have a loaded graveyard because of the Block Dragons and all the Earths I've got in the grave. So I actually normal Seer here. And then link off the Dante that I summoned off this year with the Snack to go into the Cerberus. And then I'm going to use this Dante to get back that card as link, or not link fodder, but as discard fodder, essentially, for this Phoenix. And then I'm pitching the Seer to hit a set evenly match. So it was pretty clutch that I cleared that out of the way because I wasn't able to actually OTK him this turn. That evenly match could have came back to bite me. So Gallus is what I will draw off the Phoenix. And pretty good card to have there. I believe I end up milling Giant Rex off that, or Farfa. No, Farfa gets milled off the Glow Bulb, excuse me. So that's very, very clutch to clear that out of the way. I mean, I had the you know, the Appaloosa to stop it anyways, but Boral Sword comes down, and that's just going to spell game right then and there. So that's going to do it for this feature match. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Don't forget I'm doing a charity live stream on February 9th over on my Twitch channel. Link to that below. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As you can see, new format Orcust, still somewhat very playable. A little bit weaker, yes, but still very much playable. But anyways, I mean, unfortunately, I guess. It's very unfortunate to hear this, but obviously, what are you going to do? Hopefully the next list will come around and maybe deal with the deck once and for all, but who knows. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.